Well, good morning, Gospel Life Church. Welcome to the devotional for this week. Well, if you're like me, you've probably spent a bunch of time recently trying to do your Christmas shopping. Maybe you were trying to get some things on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, and chances are, if you're also like me, you ended up with not getting as many things as you had hoped to be able to get, and you were probably disappointed with how little that you were able to get that were actually on one of those sales. So I know that there's a few of you out there that are probably not like me, and maybe you are the Christmas Eve shoppers, and I don't know how you do that and how you go out there every Christmas Eve and get everything that you need. And I can't really say much about it other than that I'll pray for you. So this time of year is always interesting to me. I really enjoy seeing my kids get excited about Christmas, and I even like following some of the news around this time, whether it's talking about the biggest and hottest gifts that people are buying, or the people that are camping out in lines to try to get deals at this time. And I even like seeing some of the statistics that are out there around consumer spending, or the number of packages that are being shipped, and how often we just break all these records every year, and set new records and astronomical numbers of things like consumer spending and what's actually being sent out to people every year. I feel like this time of year is also a good reflection, particularly around the topics of consumerism and materialism, that is just so much a part of our culture, and it's so evident during these times. So yes, I took a fun topic and I turned it into a downer. But the reason why I wanted to bring up this topic is because it's so easy for us as Christians to be influenced by our culture and our own Christian subculture or church subculture. The reality is that even our Christian subculture and our own thinking is very heavily influenced by the prevailing culture. While not all of the culture is bad, it is helpful to really understand what is driving our decision making, both consciously and subconsciously. So we have to ask the question, are we viewing life through a biblical lens or a Christian subculture lens? And those two always aren't the same. We have to ask ourselves the question in the area of materialism: how much of the culture is driving my thoughts and my actions? I really appreciate the last study that we did in Foundations, because we really took a deep dive into culture's influence, and we discussed a lot of the practical implications of that in our lives. So today I just wanted to reflect on a few specific verses that I think can help calibrate our thinking during this time. The first is Hebrews 13:5. It says, "Keep your life free from the love of money and be content with what you have. For he says, I will never leave you nor forsake you." So the world preaches the exact opposite, right? There is no contentment. There's only something newer, bigger, better. It's the story of all of the marketing ads that are out there. But we can be content because of God's promise. In Luke 12:15, it says, "And he said to them, take care and be on your guard against all covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions." I feel like Jesus would be telling a lot of people that in today's culture. The context here is that someone is actually asking Jesus to tell his brother to divide the inheritance with him. Jesus is basically telling him that he's missing the point. In 1 John 2:16, we're told, "For all that is in this world, the desire of the flesh and the desire of the eyes and the pride in possessions is not from the Father, but is from the world." So this verse is very clear that this desire for possessions that we all really have comes from the world. God may still give us good gifts and blessings in the forms of material things, but we should be cognizant of that root desire and where it comes from. In Luke 12:33-34, It says, sell your possessions and give to the needy. Provide yourselves with money bags that do not grow old, with a treasure in the heavens that does not fail, where no thief approaches and no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So a very familiar verse, and don't let the familiarity catch you up there, because I'm not sure how any of us can really read this verse and not fall under some sort of conviction. Even outside of just knowing how much we treasure the treasures of this world, and we look at the use of our time or money, the broader context of this verse talks about worrying and being anxious about provisions and finances. So probably everybody falls into one of those two categories. Either we're too focused on those possessions and obtaining them, or we get anxious around our provisions and our finances. We see a similar call to action in 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 17 through 19. As for the rich in the present age, charge them not to be haughty, nor to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly provides us with everything to enjoy. They are to do good, to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share, thus storing up treasures for themselves as a good foundation for the future, so that they may take hold of that which is truly life. So take some time today and reflect on what's really driving some of your thoughts and decisions around finances and possessions. Ask yourself, are we serving the wrong master? I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope to see everyone safe and sound on Sunday.